headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.
Right, Sophie, a lot of people saying Boris should go. Why should he stay?
You know, can I be really honest with you?
You can be as honest as you like.
I think the people that are saying that Boris should go and the entire conversation around Boris's supposed resignation is incredibly childish and trivial.
Why is it childish and trivial?
Well, look, okay, these parties, they happened. We can't change that. And yes, he should have apologised. But right at the moment, you know, we've got the war of Ukraine coming. We need to bounce back from COVID in our recovery. We're currently one of the freest countries in the world. We've got one of the fastest growing economies in the G7. And in fact, we have the fastest. And we also have, you know, the cost of living crisis that we need to focus on dealing right now. Do we need to risk the political instability of having a leadership contest or even a vote of no confidence itself when all of this is going on for parties that happened a long time ago, and the fact that we can't change that? Yes, they happen. Yes, we can't undo it. But how is getting rid of the PM right now going to solve any situation that we're in, other than trying to get revenge on him, which, in my opinion, is childish politics? Okay,
Victoria has tweeted me to say that she agrees. I'm sick of Partygate, says Victoria. Richard, what do you make of what Sophie and Victoria think?
Well, look, obviously I've wanted Johnson to go for a long time. You know, this is a man who supported austerity, cuts to our national health service and social care that, you know, we know killed 60,000 people. This is a man who rules by dividing our society when we should be pulling together. You know, he's made horrible comments about Muslims and Jews. He pretends we've got a problem with people seeking asylum when actually we've got far lower numbers of refugees coming than, you know, Germany or France. And these are people we should be welcoming. But of course, he does all this stuff. He will do anything, undermine our society, undermine our democracy in order to stay in power, right? And, you know,
he's undermining our democracy. That's a very big charge. Sophie, what do you make of... Sorry, Richard, continue. Apologies.
You know, I think this is why we should all agree that he needs to go, right? Because we've seen in the last few years how fragile our civil liberties are. They depend on our leaders being accountable, right? And this is the point, that if politicians break the rules they created, and if they lie to us about it, if they refuse to apologise properly, if they try to evade that accountability, then our basic fundamental freedoms are being risked.
It's really interesting. Sorry, we'll come back to you in a second, Richard. It's really interesting. Along with Jeremy Kyle, I interviewed Jacob Rees-Mogg about 10 days ago on this station. And he said, Sophie, I want to put this to you. He said, we're having a row about cake. And I said, we're not having a row about cake. It's not about cake. It's about whether the Prime Minister was, this is specifically in regard to his birthday, he was in the room where the rules were made, breaking the rules. Surely that's important to many people, Sophie.
That is important.
That's not childish, is it? That's not a childish criticism.
No, but I think calling him to resign over such matters that we can't control is childish. And can I be honest?
He could control it.
No, but it is very clear to me, Peter, that those MPs that have put their letters in to Sir Graham Brady are mainly the wet Remainer, really annoying ones.
So because you disagree with them politically, you think that they don't have a...
And the way the media have behaved as well. I mean, what have we had, you know, the last couple of weeks? We've had birthday cake, we've had Penn Farthing and his animals, and we've had Liz Truss using a government plane to do government business. I mean, it's pathetic. There is an absolute media witch hunt behind it. We can see it was clear. I mean, there was a ex-former Labour peer that was prisoned yesterday, and it wasn't on the headline of the BBC, yet Boris's face was. It's very clear that there are motives here, and... You know, there's no denying.
But surely, sorry, one second, hold on. I just want to ask Sophie one question, and then I'm going to come to you, Richard, in a second. But Sophie, everybody in politics has an agenda. You know, nobody has a absolutely pure motives in a sort of clear way. Everybody has some sort of agenda. The Prime Minister, I think we can all agree, he probably shouldn't have broken the rules if that's what he did, and it looks as if he did. And people are saying you've broken the rules, you set the rules, you broke them. Why shouldn't you go?
But at the end of the day, yes, there is a possibility for him to go. And if he does go, the people that should be making that decision are the people at the ballot box in 2024.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to...
400 Conservative MPs. I know that's obviously protocol, but it's wrong.
Okay, got to bring in Richard because I've cut him off a couple of times. Richard, what do you make of everything you've heard from Sophie and from me?
I mean, Sophie's argument against getting rid of Boris Johnson is that a So a Labour peer a disgusting man who will lose, who's lost the whip, never had a front bench role. He did something terrible, and that is, you think that should be the headline and not the Prime Minister lying to us and evading justice and breaking the law repeatedly.
But Richard, the Culture Secretary...
This is bonkers. The Prime Minister breaking the law and lying about it is
Well, we don't know if he broke the law.
Important.
We don't know if he broke the law. The Culture Secretary, Nadine Dorries, has told Sky News that 97% of MPs, Conservative MPs, I should say, are behind Boris Johnson. I mean, a lot of things have happened, Richard, in the last few weeks, last few months, but still, he's still there. He's still standing.
Well, if Nadine Dorries is correct, then my God, that is an indictment of the Conservative Party today, because that's a party that claimed once to be defending our fundamental freedoms and is now defending just Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss's career prospects because it's not quite the right time for them to launch a leadership bid. How utterly, utterly shameful. Our democracy and our freedoms depend upon us getting rid of prime ministers who lie and break the rules. The idea that is childish, as Sophie described it. What a shocking indictment of the Conservative Party that you so don't care about our democracy, our freedoms. What utterly shameful.
Hang on. Conservative Party not caring about democracy? Please remind me who the leader of the current Labour Party is. Oh, Mr. Sir Keir Starmer, who spent years trying to ruthlessly ignore the will of the people with Brexit. At least Boris got it done. He probably cares about democracy the most. And people do have a right in 2024 to decide whether they are still angry at Boris. And if they do, they can put that anger through the ballot box and vote him out. It is that simple. I
just want to bring in or want to talk about one of the texts. Sorry, it just disappeared from my screen there, but it was Victoria who had, yes, here we go. Sorry, I found it again. This was Victoria who had said that she's sick of Partygate, but there's more to her text where she says, what I am bothered about is the constant bad decision making, in her opinion, of the Chancellor Rishi Sunak. He's overcomplicating schemes and not prioritising properly. I honestly don't think he has a clue what he's doing. Hashtag Sunak out. Sophie, you're shaking your head.
I actually know. I'm shaking my head because I agree with her. I don't understand why people are wanting Rishi Sunak to replace Boris Johnson. I think he's made several mistakes. I mean, look at this whole green thing, giving people a £200 discount that they then have to pay back.
Well, Boris Johnson brought in the whole net zero charges and the focus on net zero as well.
We should just scrap that. I don't know what all that is. It's a load of nonsense. Just scrap it. It's always doing making people poor. Okay, final word. Sophie, in one word, if Boris Johnson is to go, and you obviously hope he doesn't, but if he is to go, who is the person you think should replace him in an ideal world? If it was your choice, who would it be? Which serving Conservative MP should replace Boris Johnson? Priti Patel. Okay. Richard, same question. You have to choose a Conservative MP to replace Boris Johnson. Who would it be?
Oh, you're a horrible, horrible man.
Well, we know that. We've known that for a while.
Who do I think would do the least damage? Maybe Michael Gove? I don't know.
Okay.
Look, all of these people supported austerity that killed 60,000 people. I mean, did it? And everyone accepts now that it totally undermined our recovery from the financial crisis, and it was a macroeconomic disaster. Even the IMF says
it's all George Osborne's fault. It's all George Osborne's fault. Well, as is the case. Let's go with that. As is the case for many things. Listen, Sophie Corcoran, political commentator, thank you very much indeed, and Richard Parsaid, former Labour official. Thank you both very, very much.
Good talk.
Hot talk. Bold talk. Talk radio.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Watch it live on your smart TV. The world headquarters of common sense.
Talk radio.